I'm here with my nephew James, and he looks like a normal person, but actually he's not a normal person. Why are you not normal, James?
I struggle to get up in the morning. I have to be up at, I try to get up at 6 o'clock every morning, but I can't. So on my phone I have alarms. I have about 10 alarms.
Look at all the alarms. That's crazy. Hello and welcome to Canguro English. I'm Christian, and today we are going to be talking about the best way to learn a language. So a lot of people have been asking me recently about the best way to learn a language, especially if it's necessary to study grammar, if it's necessary to have a book and learn vocabulary and learn grammar. And today I'm going to prove to you that it's absolutely not necessary. This is James.
Hello.
James is English. Where are you from, James?
I'm just out of Cambridge, just outside of Cambridge, about half an hour.
Okay, just outside Cambridge. Did you go to primary school?
Yep.
Did you go to secondary school?
Yes.
And did you study your GCSEs?
Yes.
Okay. And you were born in England?
Yes.
Spoke English your whole life? Okay.
Yep.
English. Do you speak English perfectly?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to ask him a question. James, what is an adjective? Okay, James, what is a noun? Do you know what a noun is?
A noun is a describing word.
A describing word.
Is that right?
So for example, like happy is a noun?
Yeah, am I right? Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what a verb is?
A
modal verb?
being honest, never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Okay. What about a conditional sentence?
Again, never heard of it.
A relative clause? You get the idea, right? Is that he has no idea what a noun is, a verb, an adjective, and he speaks English perfectly. Okay. Did you learn about this at school, about nouns and adjectives?
You learn about it at school, but you often forget it because it's a rule. You don't have to remember it's a rule. You just have to learn that you have to just get it in. Put the words in the right places.
Exactly.
In sentence.
Exactly. So this is 100% true. Okay. It's not necessary to memorize the rule. It's necessary to memorize how the language works, right? And James has done this because he lives in England. He speaks English every day, and he has absorbed all of the rules of English subconsciously. Yes. Okay, so another example, James.
Yes.
What is the correct order of adjectives in English? Is it, for example, material, and then color, and then size, and then origin? Do you know?
No.
Okay, so which of these sentences is correct? The old green big lady or the big old green lady?
The big old green lady.
Why?
It's just, it makes sense.
Okay, it just makes sense. He doesn't know the rule for the order of adjectives, but it sounds correct to him. He has subconsciously absorbed these rules. In 1958, there was a psycholinguist called Berko Gleason. Okay, and she revolutionized the world of linguistics when she proved that children as young as 2 years old and 3 years old had memorized internally the rules of English. Okay, and she created something called the WUG test. And today we're going to do the WUG test with James. And also you can do it at home, okay? So, the WUG test is genius, okay? So basically we have, this is the first slide, okay? So the first thing we're going to prove is that James knows how to make a plural for a word that doesn't exist in English. So James, do you want to read?
Okay. This is a WUG. Now there is another one. There are two of them. There are two WUGs.
WUGs. So James knows to make a plural in English, you put an S on the end. Next one.
Okay. There is a gutch. Now there is another one. There are two of them. There are two gutches.
Two gutches. So James automatically knows that when the word ends, okay, in a ch, he has to add es, gutches.
This is a man who knows how to spow. He is spowing. He did the same thing yesterday. What did he do yesterday? He spowed.
Yesterday he spowed, because James knows that when you talk about things in the past in English, you add ed, spowed, okay?
This is Kaz.
Okay.
There is another one. There are two of them. There are two Kazes.
Okay, now what's really interesting here is if we focus on James's pronunciation of the plural, he actually adds the voiced S. He doesn't say Kaz like this. He says zzz, Kaz. Don't you? Kazz.
Kazes.
Exactly, because he knows that when the word ends in a voiced consonant, the plural will be a voiced consonant. Did you know that? Did you know that when the plural is a voiced consonant?
I didn't know I was that good. This is a man who knows how to rick. He is ricking. He did the same thing yesterday. What did he do yesterday? Yesterday he ricked.
Exactly, okay? And again we will see here that James knows when he talks about the past tense and the end of the word rick is an unvoiced consonant, that the past tense will be ricked.
This is a dog with quirks on him. He is all covered with quirks. What kind of dog is he? He is a quirky dog.
Wow, did you see that? A quirky dog. James knows that if we need to invent an adjective in English, that we put the Y on the end. Did you know that in English, if you can take any noun and put a Y and make an adjective? Quirk, quirky. Cheese, cheesy.
Cheesy, yeah.
James,
Jamesy.
Jamesy. Good work, bro. Maybe you think that James doesn't need to know about English grammar, because James is not going to become, for example, he's not going to be the Prime Minister of England. Maybe because James doesn't know any grammar, it's not possible for him to have a good job like a lawyer or a doctor or the Prime Minister of England. Well, you're wrong. In 2016, somebody asked the Prime Minister, David Cameron, in Parliament, if he could describe three things. 1, what is a modal verb? 2, what is the past progressive tense? And 3, if he could identify a relative clause. And look at his response.
For the benefit of the House and for 10 and 11-year-olds up and down the country, will the Prime Minister explain what the past progressive tense is? Will he differentiate between a subordinating conjunctive and a coordinating conjunctive? And finally, will he set out his definition, please, of a modal verb?
I have to say to the Honourable Lady, the whole point of these changes is to make sure our children are better educated than we are.
So basically you can see from his response that he has no idea what a modal verb is or a coordinating conjunction, but it hasn't stopped him from becoming the Prime Minister of England, okay? So I think this proves that it's not necessary to study grammar or even to know what grammar is to speak a language. But I am not saying that this is the best way to learn a language. I'm not saying that you should learn a language like a baby and just listen and repeat sounds, because this would be very, very, very slow. But I want to show you that it's not necessary to focus so much on grammar, okay? That grammar is a small part of learning a language. So now I'm going to give you my top tips, the fastest way to learn a language. The number one thing, the most important thing, get motivated, okay? If you're not motivated, you are not going to learn anything. The next thing is use technology. We live in an amazing world. You have the internet, you have internet radio, you have YouTube, you have apps on your telephone. You have a million different ways to absorb and to practice English. The next one is make mistakes. When you're learning languages, it's really important to make mistakes. But it's not just my opinion. Scientific evidence shows us that making mistakes is really good. For example, this paper here tells us that if we make mistakes, we learn faster. This paper here says that if we make mistakes, then it helps us to stop repeating the same mistakes. And this one here says that making mistakes is really good for our memory. So don't be afraid. Get out there and make mistakes. And finally, and I think really this is the most important thing, is have fun, okay? If your classes are boring, if your methods of studying are boring, okay, you're not going to continue. Have fun. Incorporate things that you are interested in your studies and enjoy the learning process, okay? It's not easy to learn a language, but sometimes difficult things are also fun. I hope that you found that interesting. If you would like to see any more videos about the English language, or if you'd like to see any more videos with James, then don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in class. Bye. What is wrong with you?